We shall begin on page number 39, second last paragraph, the remaining part of the chapter, Withering the Storm of Asthma. Chapter number 6. Among the first people he saw in the crowd was his maternal grandmother. So, as he reached there, he could not find his family members, but he found his maternal grandmother, weak with hunger. So, that was the first person from his family which he saw. That was the maternal grandmother, weak with hunger. Now, the poor woman was grandmother, obviously, and she was now weak because obviously you don't get anything to eat, drink during these storms, and she was very much weak with hunger. She rushed to him, her hand outstretched, her eyes brimming. So, the old woman, poor woman, when she saw Prashant, she ran to him and she was stretched her arms, or she was almost crying. It was a miracle they had long given up for him for dead. Now, even they thought that Prashant might have died, and when the grandmother saw him, for both of them it was miracle. He was also surprised that the grandmother had survived, and the grandmother was also surprised that he was still alive. So, both of them, it was a surprise for them. Quick, quickly, word spread, and his extended family gathered around him. And slowly, the message started everywhere. There was a message, and slowly, everybody came to know that now Prashant had come back. The news spread, so everybody was gathering. Those who had survived the storm from his family started gathering, hugged him tight in relief. Prashant anxiously scanned the motley, battered group. So he was just looking. He was very sad, and he was looking everywhere to his family members, those who had survived, his brother and sister, his uncle, aunts. They all seemed to be there, and now that was a relief. His brother, his sister, his uncle, aunts, they all had survived, and he could slowly he started meeting them, and he understood that these they all had survived the storm. So he was a bit happy. By the next morning, as he in the desperate situation took in the desperate situation in the shelter, he decided to get a grip over himself. So, when they were in the shelter house, Prashant decided that it is no time to cry. It is a very hard time, a bad time for everyone, but there is no meaning just to sit and weep. He had to do something. So, he decided to get a grip over himself, means to forget the situation, what has happened, and do something extraordinary. He sensed a Delhi grief settling upon the 2,500 strong crowd in the shelter. See, how many people were there? There were 2,500 people from the survivor, and they were there in the shelter house. And he could see that is a really large sum of people, 2,500. 86 lives were lost in the village, and in his own village, 86 people had died. All the 96 houses had been washed away. See, there were 96 houses in his village, all had been washed away, so none of the house survived. It was their fourth day at the shelter. Just imagine, now it was the fourth day at the shelter. So far, they had survived on green coconut. Just imagine, for 4 days, you don't get anything to eat. And it was a miracle that coconuts were available so they could survive, otherwise, they would have died of hunger also. So they survived on the coconut, but there were too few to go around such a tumult of people. Means you cannot feed 2,500 people coconut all the time, every day. Those many coconuts you don't have. So in that kind of situation also, and you cannot just survive on coconut. So Prashant, all of 19 years. See, Prashant was only 19 years old. decided to step in as a leader of his village. So Prashant decided that now he had to do something for the village and for the people if no one else did. He knew that if somebody is not going to take the leadership, I need to do something for these people because this is my village. I need to do something. He organized a group of youths and elders to jointly pressurize the merchants once again to part with the rice. So he decided that those merchants, those who had rice with them, should actually give away the rice because people were very hungry. People would die of hunger. So he decided that we should pressurize the, means persuade, to say to the merchants to give away their rice, obviously for free. You can don't have money at that time. This time the delegation succeeded and returned triumphantly. Now, Prashant made a small team and they returned triumphantly, means the plan was success. What he had decided, wading through the reading water with food for the entire shelter. So, still there was water. They got the food, the rice, obviously, nothing more to eat, and they returned to the shelter with the rice. No one cared that the rice was already rotting. See, obviously that rice, everywhere it was water, so that rice might have also been dipped in the water. In the it was rotting. It was not very healthy to eat, but then too nobody cared about it because everybody was so much hungry. Nobody had eaten anything, so nobody thought of that. They just wanted something to eat. Branches from the fallen trees were gathered to create a reluctant and slow fire. And uh, when it is raining storm, you don't find dry firewood, but few branches which were above the ground were taken so that they could start up a fire on which to cook the rice. They had to, you cannot eat rice as it is, you have to cook it also. For the first time in 4 days, the survivors at this cyclone center were able to fill their bellies. So just imagine, for 4 days they were hungry, and on the fourth day they got only rice to eat, boiled rice. His next task was to organize a team of youth volunteers to clean the shelters of the filth, urine, vomit, and the floating carcasses. Now what did he do? He gathered youth, young people to volunteer to clean away the dirt, the carcasses, the dead bodies of animals, humans, and you can imagine that how dirty it would be if everything is submerged in water, and when the water gets down, it is everything is just in mud. So now they had to do that cleaning also of all the things, and to tend to the wounds and the fractures of the many who had been injured. And in this kind of situation, many of the people do get injured also. So now they had to take care of those wounded and the fractured people also. On the fifth day, a military helicopter flew over the shelter and dropped some food parcel. On the fifth day, the military helicopter, so the government understood, and the government had sent the military helicopter there, and it had food parcels, so they just dropped that food parcels there. It then did not return once the helicopter came and dropped some food. After that, the helicopter did not return. The youth task force gathered empty utensils from the shelter. So now Prashant had another idea. What did he decide? That we should gather utensils, those utensils which are floating in the water here and there. So we should gather those utensils from the shelter. Then they deputed the children to lie in the sand left by the water around the shelter with these utensils on their stomach. See, this was the idea of Prashant, a very intelligent one. What did he do? He told the small children to lie down, means now the water had resided, and where there was place, a bit of dry place there, he told the children to lie down, means to just sleep, and to keep the utensils on their stomach. So when the helicopter is, you can understand that the helicopter has to hover over a height, it cannot come very down. if, and it is not possible for up there to see the situation down. So this was a sign language that Prashant used, that to keep the children lying on the ground and placing the utensils on their stomach, empty utensils, so that it could be a sign to the government, to the helping organization, to understand that they don't have food. The utensils are empty on their stomach means they don't have anything to eat. So this was the sign language, a good idea by Prashant. Shelter with their utensils on their stomach to communicate to the passing helicopter that they were hungry. This was the sign language, that they are hungry now. The message got through, and that message was very got through the government officials and the helicopter. They understood that why they are lying there, and with the empty utensils they understood that these people don't have anything to eat. And after that the helicopter made regular rounds of the shelter from up high up there. They cannot understand what is the situation down. So this was the sign language that was made, and they understood that sign. And now the helicopter visited regularly, dropping the shelter, airdropping the food, and the other basic needs like water, medicines, clothes. And now they were dropping all those things so that the people could use them. Prashant found that a large number of children had been orphaned. So this was also one of the sad picture, sad aspect, that lots of children were now orphaned. Means the entire family had died or the parents had died. They were alone. Those children were might have survived somehow. But the children were alone. They had no parents to take care of them, had been orphaned. He brought them together and put up a polythene sheet shelter for them. What did he do? He brought a polythene, he got the polythene sheet, he made a shelter of plastic polythene sheet, shelter for them. Women were mobilized to look after them, and he told the women to please take care of the children, because now they are alone, they are orphan, they don't have anyone to take care of them. So the women in the villages were assigned to take care of them, to look after those children. No doubt they were not their children, but yet they had to take care of them, while the men secured food and material for the shelter. And the men kept on moving here and there and trying to find food and shelter for everyone. As weeks passed, see, still it took weeks, because it is when the flood comes, it doesn't go away. It comes very fast, but when it goes, it takes a very long time. So as week passed, now in this situation they were living, weeks started passing. Prashant was quick to recognize that the women and children were sinking deeper and deeper in their grief. So now Prashant understood that as time was passing, the women and the children were feeling getting more and more sad. They were in grief, because now they were slowly, when the time was passing, they were realizing that what will be their future. Everything is going to be never, it's not going to be the same again. They started thinking, and everybody was getting depressed in grief. He persuaded the woman to start working in the food for work program. So if you just wait and sit, it is going to make you more and more, it's going to be more and more painful. So what did he do? He wanted those women to do some work so that they can forget their pain. So he told them, the woman, to work for the food for work program started by an NGO. NGO is a non-government organization. Those are the people. NGO organizations are those people, those who don't take the help from the government. They gather money by their own means and they help in these kinds of situation. NGOs are in all kinds of sectors. So NGOs, there was an program of the NGOs. They were also helping, and for the children, he organized sports event, and the children were also, they had nothing to do. Just imagine weeks and weeks passing, nothing to do. They had lost everything, no house, their family members. So what did he do? He organized sports events so that the children could play and forget their pain. He himself loved to play cricket, and so he organized matches for the children. Prashant engaged with other volunteers in helping the widows and children to pick up the broken pieces of their lives. So Prashant, with the help of volunteers, the widows Lots of women had lost their husbands, mother had lost their children. Everybody was in pain, and the children also, especially. So he started uh, telling them and making them more and more involved in things so that they could forget their what had actually with their dreadful past. The initial government plan was to set up institutions for orphans and widows. However, this step was successfully resisted, as it was felt that in such institution children would grow up without love. So, what could the government do now in this kind of situation where lots of children were now orphan? So, the government had decided so they should be sent to some shelter home, but Prashant decided that being there the children would grow up without love, because there in the orphanage you don't get much love. You have to be in strict rules, you have to follow, and nobody loves you there. You have to be alone, just and lots of children like you, no one to take much care of you. So he understood that there these children will not get love, and the widows would suffer the stigma and loneliness. And he understood that the widows will feel very, very lonely there in these types of shelter homes. So he knew what was the drawback of this government program. Prashant's group believed orphans should be resettled in their own community itself. So, what did Prashant do? He said that we shall not send these children to the orphanage or the widows, but we shall resettle them in our own community, means in our own village. There they could live a peaceful life, possibly in new foster families made up of childless widows and children without an adult care. See, what did he decide? He decided that there were widows who had lost their children, and there were children those who had lost their parents. So they should be adjusted in their own villages, means those widows, those who had lost their children, she should take care of any one child who had lost the parent. So this was a great idea by him, and in that kind of situation the children could get a mother and the mother would get a child. So this was the idea of Prashant, that we should do this by childless widows and the children without adult care, so both of them would benefit in this, instead of sending them to the government orphanage or the widow houses that are there, which are not really very helpful, which would not be very helpful to the children or the widows. So it is 6 months after the devastation of the super cyclone. Now it is almost six, it had been almost 6 months now had passed. The cyclone was over. But when these types of cyclones and natural calamities do hit, the pain is forever. It just takes few hours, but it changes the life of lots and lots of people forever. They never forget. And those people, those who have witnessed this, still have never forgotten the incident, because it had taken almost everything from their life. So, after 6 months, this time Prashant's wounded spirit, Prashant's wounded spirit has held it simply because he had no time to bother about his own pain. See, the thing is that Prashant himself was also in lot of pain. But what did he do? He helped others. He kept himself busy helping others. He organized, he planned, and by doing that, by the planning, what was the benefit? That he almost forgot his own pain. He had no time to cry over his pain, because he was helping others, he was making plans for others, and obviously that gave him satisfaction. So he had no time to bother about his own pain. There was lots of pain in his life also, but continuously he started helping others. That released his pain. His handsome youthful face is what the widows and orphaned children of his village seek. Now, this is the fact that his face that changed the life of lots of orphaned children, widows, cause this decision was taken by him, and that changed the life of all these people. So his youthful face, and he was very young in the beginning, we have done that he was only 19 years old. His face is what the widows and orphan children of his village seek. His youthful face, they like him because he had changed these people's life out most in the darkest hours of grief. And his face they will never forget, because during that darkest hour of grief, of pain, when they had lost everything, at that time it was Prashant who changed their life, who gave hope, and the villagers say that we will never forget him because he had helped us during the most hard times of our life, and due to his decision lots and lots of life had changed, had been bettered, and now they will never forget him. So here we come to the end of the chapter. Page number 42, we have 5 question answers about the chapter. Do read the chapter twice. After that, you'll have to write down the question answers. Those are on page number 42. Until we meet again, take very good care of yourself. Thank you. Goodbye.